to order. This is a special meeting of the Board of Education Hiring Committee regarding our superintendent search. We have Dr. Joseph Arardi here to give a short presentation about the results of his information collection from our community.
Most have this, but I think there's a few that might not. Chairman Peters, thank you, and thanks to the entire school board and the entire hiring committee for being all in with this really important piece of work. And thanks to our audience who's been here. What I'd like to be able to do is just bring to life what I believe represents approximately 400 stakeholders in the work that you asked me to go forward with in regards to gathering information from community stakeholders. That took place from September through the beginning of January. In some cases, it took place during the window of the application process. So approximately 20 plus meetings later, and a great number of community surveys, parent surveys, staff surveys completed. My guesstimate, and it's a good guesstimate, my guesstimate is well over 400 participated in the document that I'll share as an executive summary. What I found, overall what I found was that unbeknownst to each other in multiple meetings, folks are just enormously proud of the community of Portland and the school community of Portland. And that was said in many different ways in many different places. The hope moving forward, and this document is absolutely only about moving forward. It's not about Dr. O'Reilly, and folks have great things to say about Dr. O'Reilly, but it's about tomorrow and not today. Skill set. What was most prevalent was that the stakeholders are hoping that you're going to hire someone who understands instruction and understands strategically how to lead instruction. Someone who comes to you with quiet confidence. I like that term, it was shared with me a couple of times. And I think the definition of that when it was shared was not someone who's going to be here and has to cut their teeth immediately by here's what I'm going to do. Someone who has enough confidence to sit back, to watch, to listen, to understand, and then share findings. Empowering others was really important. The belief in your school community is that one person cannot do it alone. That they have to have confidence to be a shared distribution in regards to decision making, and they have to empower multiple levels within the organization. Communication was a conversation everywhere. The person must be someone who is really smart with communication. In a couple of the faculty meetings, the faculty and staff, they are not interested in a school leader who may district. If you don't have a sense of humor when you come to work, work's no fun. So there's a way, the conversation was out, there's a way to have fun at work and work really hard. And they want to make sure that your new superintendent at least understands that it's okay to smile, it's okay to have fun, and that doesn't mean we're not going to work as hard as we need to work. The honesty, the integrity, the caring, the trust, everything you expected. And those are the attributes that you have to have going forward to lead. Success was built all around student. And at least the parent belief and the community belief is that a child who graduates from Portland High School, and if that child experienced K-12 Portland schools, the belief is that child is well prepared to to do whatever she or he wants to do, whether it's the work world, higher ed, whatever it might be. But the belief is that you are bringing forward productive citizens and productive workers. Equally proud are folks when they talk about staff, that there are favorite teachers everywhere in all schools. In a district the size of Portland, many conversations around the opportunities in the program of studies that you've been able to support and hold on to, and in some cases enhance for Portland students in some really hard times. School partnership, community partnership, people are proud of. They believe that the community works in parallel with you, in step with you, and not against you in any way. That your community partnerships wants the absolute best for children in Portland. In the last piece is a question that I would usually bring forward at the close of my meetings. I have a passion around safety and security, and in all conversations, the belief is that although the plan is never complete, and it shouldn't be, that steps have been taken to have teaching and learning in an optimal safety space for children at all times. Challenges were equally discussed. And multiple stakeholders, and not all being directly connected to your organization or employees of the Portland Board, are really concerned around the fiscal piece of unknown. And what they meant by that was the federal dollar, which you're always uncertain of, now the state dollar, which you're always uncertain of, but what you are certain of, that you need dollars to go forward for maintenance and enhancement in your school district. So the unclear fiscal picture, really what that translates to is that you need to have a community belief, you need to have a school leader that recognizes the challenge and maximizes every dollar for every child at the absolute best way in partnership with you. Conversation around clarity and conciseness when you're sharing information with elected officials around needs and wants. Retention was a conversation. There are districts in the state of Connecticut that offer additional dollars, and the belief is that you offer a terrific work environment. And how do you hold on to your absolute best and not have them attracted to go other places? And the last, item number 5, under the challenge, and it's my way of sharing with you that the challenge, particularly around your exceptional learners, your children with needs, how do you meet the expectation that you are providing an optimal education for all children? And how do you look at programming to ensure that? So really what that conversation was around was building within, retaining students rather than in some cases placing students in different learning environments outside of Portland, and a study around that so that your new school leader understanding really the complexity of the Portland child, of the complex learner, and working in partnership with parents, particularly in partnership with parents who have children of special needs. And partnership is the key to the conversation, and not in a competition in any ways. So that was an important piece for your new superintendent to understand pupil services. In addition to what I've shared with you, information that I gleaned, and what I did was I chunked the survey for you. I took the survey data, I took my notes, and I tried to put together parcels that made some sense, that were reoccurring themes in the work that you asked me to do. So what you have, and I'm not going to read this to you, but what you have, longevity was important. I don't think you want to do this every 2 years, and I don't think your community wants to. Every time you have a restart, it's a brand new beginning with philosophy, mission, and vision, and that becomes tiring if you're doing it every 3 years. Visibility was an important piece. Listening and learning was an important piece. The whole child was an important piece. Your performing and fine arts folks, your athletic folks, all the things that take place in that co-curricular space, believe that presently it's an extraordinary opportunity for students, and that they want your new superintendent to recognize that the whole child is really important. It's just not about assessment and about testing. Communication was a reoccurring theme, as I've mentioned to you. And I think that the last thing I want to share with you is that the diversity piece was brought to me in many, many different ways. But I think the executive summary of diversity is that the community folks that spoke to me, and not all school people, community-based and school, want a school leader who not only speaks to diversity, but owns the issue and truly champions diversity in Portland Public Schools. Last two pieces, parents as partners, genuinely parents as partners. And one conversation which has stuck with me because I thought it was stated in a much more explicit way than I could was that there's a whole bunch of people that could be CEOs, but we want a CEO of children. And the voice was, and everybody shook their head, that whoever you hire should never, ever forget that they make decisions around children. And that's easy to say, and it's hard to do, but that's an important piece. So this represents the executive summary. I'll work with Meg and Dr. O'Reilly to have this posted on your website. I think it's an important document to just allow the community and the school community to see. I don't know if you have questions at this point around the work that I tried to do with you pertaining to the profile.
Would you say it's comprehensive? Yeah. You haven't missed anything, I don't think. I can't think of anything I would add to this.
And again, this came from you, from the community, and they did a good job supporting the work they did. And thank you to our audience also for being here.
I think this is going to be very helpful as we move forward with our search, definitely.
Yeah. Sharon, can I just say one more thing? Just because I'm assuming we're videotaping, is that the link that the community needs to understand is that the work that I just presented is a strong consideration for the hiring committee, the school board, and the advisory committee on how to draw their framework for their interviews. So that's how their voice will be heard in the first and second and the rounds to follow. Thank you.
Yep, great. Thank you very much. Any questions from anybody? Okay, if not, we'll adjourn the special meeting and move on from here.
Thank you.